Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another round of OTLR. You have me, Ashton the Brit, and as always, I'm joined by Lanky on his Logitech, on his Logitech wheel right there. Today, we are going around Japan. If you guys saw yesterday's race of Japan was one rep race. Will we have a repeat to that today? What do you think, Lanky?
I'd like to.
You'd like to see
Maybe
that?
not as bad, but definitely
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah.
to see some wet stuff.
Yeah, maybe in quali, who knows, it is Japan. Actually, speaking of the track, here it is. It is going to be 18 turns and 3.6 miles with a quali time, well, a pole time predicted to be low 26s to the high 25s. Can any of these drivers do so? If you think any of them can, put your predictions in the chat. And speaking of the drivers at the top, as per usual, it is currently Red Bull with Myth and Glitch sat on 294 points, which they are loads of points ahead of McLaren, but I think McLaren are still mathematically in the fight for the championship from what I've been told. But moving on to the driver standings, it is going to be a close fight between the two Red Bulls. Myth got a bigger advantage over Myth Glitch 10 last time out. He currently sits on 155 points compared to his teammate who's on 139. So Glitch has got a lot of work to do if he wants to be bouncing back and getting that championship. He is yet to win a championship as for OTLR, whereas Myth won it last time out. So he's going to be looking to defend his top spot and stay champion for now. As all the drivers are getting ready, I think we should be going into the session soon. As I just go in, I'm
in it.
leave it as a surprise to see if it's wet or dry.
Yeah.
And as we cut
Should be
into
loading
it.
it. There we go.
Oh, and it's raining! Yeah, let's go. But it looks dry. It looks a bit dry. Don't you say? I think it's going to definitely dry up towards the end. You can't really tell until the drivers have actually left the pits. But
yeah, there's not too much reflection, which is always a good sign of just how wet.
Yeah, like the ground, it looks a bit dry, don't you think?
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad at the minute. So the line will probably dry up pretty quick if that's the case.
It's actually, we've already got some drivers coming out. Who would that be? I think the fact that they came out this quickly tells me it's not going to be that wet. As looking at the track, I don't know if it's getting wetter or it's just light drizzle. But if it is light drizzle, I imagine they might be into the 1 minute 30s, possibly a bit slower, depending, because it is a track like Japan. Most drivers don't really like this track just because of how it is. Personally, I love it. But Glitch 10 is the first one out. He's going to be the benchmark for the majority of the 17 drivers on the grid, with Jack's already in. So I think that's everyone for today. So we've got 17 drivers.
Just Nick, I think, still. Oh no, that is. No, he's there in seventh.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, everybody is in. Lovely jubbly.
Yeah, so we have. To be fair, it's looking like it's only going to be a few minutes of the wet because it's already died down from the moment Glitch 10 came out of the pits to this hairpin. So we might only see one run on the inters.
The track is greasy, but it's not. It don't look overly wet. Definitely greasy, but they say there's not much reflection. Yesterday, it was like a mirror.
Yeah, literally.
So it's a big comparison. A big.
You cannot see the
difference.
curves. Yeah. No, I think. What's the word when you claim something? I think me and you should claim the word dret. I think it should be ours.
We'll get it put in a dictionary.
Yeah, we're the only ones that are allowed to use it. As actually, Glitch 10's about to come and start his lap, so go on board with him to see what he can do for his very first time in the Inter tyres. Comes towards it now. How is the Red Bull driver going to hold up? It comes towards turn 1. Very difficult in the wet. I found that out the hard way yesterday during the race, but he's already gone off track and he's somehow didn't invalidate it, but that is going to lose him a few seconds on the board as he comes towards turn 3 and 4. Got Mercedes ahead of him, but they should get out the way before the very tricky section, even in the dry. He'll come up towards turn 6 and 7, and we'll see what he can do for his first sector. What would it be on the first inters lap? Obviously, you don't really want to use it as a relative time since he did go wide and have that massive wiggle on re-entry, but it's going to be a 37.4 for Glitch 10. So obviously not the best of times for him. Which car do we have behind? We have Brian Brimo in the Ferrari. Currently sat the fastest sector 1 with Glitch going wide and running off track. So far looking to be on a really clean lap. Most of these drivers did practice for the dry. I don't think anyone really practices for the wet. Do you, Lanky, when it comes to league racing?
I don't do wet practice, but at tracks that are more known for it like this one, I'll maybe try and get a setup just in case, but how it performs, it'll be a first time when I use it. I don't practice with it.
And actually, speaking of tracks where it does rain, the next 2 weeks of Las Vegas and Miami, who knows, there could be some wet weather there as well.
Maybe more Vegas, yeah. Miami's usually hot, isn't it? It doesn't mean it's always dry, but it's usually hot.
As Brian's about to cross the line, I imagine it will be quicker than Glitch 10's 138. And it's not. Somehow it's not. Okay, that is a good lap from Glitch, I assume, as Boss Moss is about to go and finish his lap. Got a few cars ahead of him. We've got the Ratty, who goes pole by quite a margin, 37.5. Got the hands of either Cooper Fan or Apu Kati. It's Cooper Fan sits with a 1 minute 41, so must have made a mistake somewhere. Boss Moss also
it was
slow
turn
time.
1.
Yeah. That's
he
when
went
most...
wide turn 1, I was on board with him.
So Glitch then must have found quite a bit of time if he was able to get almost the quickest time on the board. Jack goes P5, Nick goes P2, and Robin gets ahead by quite a margin with a 37.2. Who is next to set a time? I think it might be Huff and Doback, or one of the Alpine drivers. Yeah, it's Bobby Lyons who goes pole with a 37 flat original pole. Sorry, what can Huff and Doback do in the Williams? Can he be up there with his teammate? As he crosses the line, it is going to be a P4 for him. Quite a bit behind his teammate, but does get P4 for now. We have the second Haas driver who's going to cross the line. Where can he go? Ahead of his teammate, hopefully. He gets up to P3 for 37.4. Marius Anderson, who was unfortunate to get a 10-second last time out, got a 1:37.3. Gets ahead of his teammate by only a few attempts. I think that is also Myth. Can Myth take that top spot off Bobby Lyons? No, he can't. He has invalidated. And looking at the track, I say it's getting pretty dry here. You think we're going to see some soft runs pretty soon?
Yeah, I think we'll see these slicks by the end. The way it's going, like the rain doesn't look too heavy. Track's looking pretty dry. I wouldn't be surprised.
At least they got a time on the board for the Delta. PW crosses the line, P11. So I think it might be on the crossover because it's a very mixed between the field, and especially with how close it usually is. It's yeah.
When the rain is still coming down, you can pretty like
it's like drop
consistent. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But
there's a Malik
maybe
in the V-Carb as well. He's gone a quick lap. I think it might be a purple sector 2. Who knows? But it is 10 seconds to get to the end. Gonna be a close one. It doesn't look like the quickest of laps. But it sees he comes towards the final curve, and he goes into the pit. So yeah, that's everyone's first runs. Pretty much done. What do you take of those first few laps in the Inters?
It didn't look too bad for most, other than obviously Glitched and Cooper we saw them make a mistake, not so much struggle into turn 1, but that just could be first time braking in the conditions. They weren't quite sure. It was first time round, so I think it's pretty clean so far and pretty tight already, considering that there's some dampness and that can split it out more, split the field more.
As Ratty's about to go and cross the Sector 2 split, and he's almost 3/10 up in his time for a purple Sector 2, so the track is definitely getting drier. Can he get ahead of his teammate and potentially the guy ahead of that who's exactly 1/10 ahead of Marius as Ratty comes towards the final curve? Now has a Mercedes ahead, and hopefully he can get a good tow towards the line. As he crosses it, it's going to be P3 for now. Gets ahead of his teammate by only a few thousandths of a second. Who is next to cross the line? Is it another Mercedes? Is that Boss Moss? Boss Moss is down and he's Delta, so it won't be him. I think it might be Robin. Robin seemed to be on a fast lap. It comes towards the Casino Triangle now. What would it be for him? Can he claim provisional pole 2 tenths behind at the current time as he comes into the pit? So he won't be looking to set any time. We have some more drivers invalidate. Hopefully they don't do that when when the dry time starts to come. Otherwise it won't be good for where they finish. As I think this is one of those tracks where it's pretty difficult to overtake in either of the conditions, whether it's dry or wet. Have you ever had a wet race around here? Here, Lanky?
And not sure in league condition.
Marius goes quickest, 36.8. Gets ahead of Bobby Lyons by 2 tenths. Who is next? Is it Myth? Is Myth on a run? I believe so. He's about to cross the line. Got his teammate right ahead. Is just starting his lap. Goes only P6 for now. So not the best of laps for Myth. Seems to be struggling. The current leader of the championship down by quite a few positions. Obviously still ahead of his teammate, but his teammate seems to be on a lap. But we'll go on board with someone else for now. As PW Jones about to cross the line. Only gets P11 after 9 tenths improvement. See, this track is so like small in the track map. It's hard to see where they are. You keep clicking on people that are coming up to the hairpin. That's Nick. Is Nick on a lap? Yeah, he is. He's 1.2 seconds up. That will put him in a good position if he can maintain the consistency coming towards the chicane and then the final curve. We'll stay on board with him to see what he can do as he uses the track as much as he can. Has a bit of a slide on exit, but crosses the line. Goes for P2 for now, and it's still a few thousandths or a few hundreds of a second behind Marius Anderson, our season 4 championship, I believe, who is currently on pole. Who is that? Is that Marius on a lap? No, it might be Glitch 10, currently down in P16. You imagine he'll be improving soon. As it is still raining, Lanky, so you know, maybe we won't see slicks after all. Maybe we'll see one last final inter run.
Yeah, I think the rain, stuttering the words. The way it stayed consistent with the way it's falling. If it eased up a little bit more, we might have seen them, but the track times there haven't come down enough to suggest they're anywhere near that.
So Ratty was already improving by a tenth in Sector 2. Let's see if Sector 3 is where all the time to find is. Quite a bit behind his teammate. See what he can do. And he's invalidated and flies into the pits. Had a bit of a Sid moment. Crashes into the walls left and right. But it seems to keep going for now. That could have been definitely worse. It's PW starting his lap. What about Jack? Is Jack improving? Not in Sector 1. Stay on board with him to see. Oh no, there's a Ferrari ahead of him, I think. That would be Adam. What can Adam do? Currently P15. He's 1.5 seconds up. So he's looking to jump up quite a few positions. Towards the end of this quality, it's all going to be about who can get that final run in. But for now, where can Adam's second qualifying run put him? So he crosses the line. It's going to be a 1:36 for Adam. Goes P3 for now with a 36.8. So really close between the top 3. All split by less than a tenth.
Yeah. Good lap from Adam.
Yeah, see if he can improve that on his final run. 6 minutes remaining. Who is on a lap? Is it Nick? No, not him. We're back on board with Glitch 10. And Glitch 10's invalidated, so it hasn't been a good day for Glitch 10. Currently P17 with a 1:38.8. And with 5 minutes left to go, he really needs to get a move on if he wants to try and take some points from his teammates. As I think, is Myth also on the lap? Yeah, he's improving by 4 attempts. So Myth is looking to jump up a few positions. Don't know if he will jump up too much, but we'll see as he crosses the line. It's going to be a 1:36.8. And still now the top 4 all within a tenth. Myth just missing out on a 0.7 by a few milliseconds. So really close here. What can Bobby Lyons do? He is improving by 3 attempts. that would definitely jump him up to provisional pole if he can keep improving coming towards sector 3. And now 6 tenths up as Robin goes quickest by 8 tenths. So the track is definitely getting drier. We'll see what Bobby Lyons can do. Can he respond to Robin taking that provisional pole? No, he can't. He invalidates on the chicane, but continues his run to hopefully go for another chance of getting that provisional pole. Getting really close between the front. Cooper is invalidated while being 1 second up in his time. Don't know if that was from cutting a course. But we'll see. As his teammate currently sat in P12, a few positions above him. He has shown some real pace in the past few races Apicati has. So maybe he could be a contender for a possible podium here. As he's about to cross the line. What will it be for him? It's going to be a 26.2. Goes ahead of Myth. And only 2 tenths behind Robin. With 4 minutes left to go. He's definitely got to find some time. His Myth is not on a lap. What about Glitch 10? Glitch 10 is improving by 1.7 seconds, but is it going to be enough to get a good position here? Only P7 sits behind IRT Nick and ahead of Adam by only a few hundreds of a second, so he's definitely going to be looking to go again. We have a McLaren of Marius, I believe, just starting his lap, so it won't be him across the line. Is it going to be PW Jones, who's currently P10? But he doesn't seem to be improving his run. He might be back into the pits, get those fresh set of inters on, and then going again. Obviously, we have that lobby reset, so they can use as many tires as they want. But it is still raining, so we might not see soft runs after all.
I think they'd have to get way below the 35s for that.
Because I think everyone might be into the pits now. We've got an Aston Martin driver. He's about to start his lap. That's Jack. Don't know if he might have did that a bit too late. What about Huff and Dobak? Huff and Dobak's almost 2.5 tenths up in his time. Rocking that new... I think, no, it's not new. But it's the most recent one apart from the one that just came out, Williams' car, as he goes wide and invalidates. So seems to be the drivers are struggling. We've got Glitch 10 just behind him. Can he improve? He has to improve if he wants to start in a good position when it comes towards the race, and he's 5 seconds down. So you'd imagine he's going into the pits to go again. See how much Ratty definitely needs to improve as well. Currently P13. Quite a big margin back from his teammate. Almost a second. Well, no, just a second and a bit. But what can he do? Can he jump ahead of his teammate? Or at least quite a few positions. We know he has the pace to do it. But as he crosses the line, it was going to be a P4 for Ratty. Sits behind his teammate by 3 tenths. With 2 minutes 20 to go. Let's hope he refueled enough to go again for one final run. This Jackson validated, so I imagine he'll be saving as much as he can to go again. But it is going to be a really close qualifying. Robin and Marius are currently at the top of the grid. Oh, is Ratty improving? No, that was from his last lap.
Into crunch time, do you think there'll be much track improvement the last couple of minutes?
I wonder if anyone's going to slow down really as much as they can, so they just cross the line in those final few seconds. Has Jack gone into the pits? No, he's going again. So we'll go on board with Jack's final run. So he's going to be the first driver to do so, and probably not set the quickest time since he won't have the most optimal condition. As there's a Red Bull coming out a bit late. Don't imagine he'll make it, as Jack has all gone wide. Had a bit of a slide coming out of the the corner there, but as it comes towards the S's, how much will he be improving by? The only driver still into the 38s. Hopefully he can improve on that this lap. 50 seconds remaining. Jack's gonna have to make it count. It comes towards the end of sector 1. How much is he going to be up by? And he's up by 4 attempts. That is good enough to get him into the 37s. Not good enough for him to jump up any positions. But we'll see, as the Red Bull driver behind him has a bit of a slide also. So far, Jack just needs to keep it within the white lines. Glitch 10 in the mud. Yep, he is 6.8 in P8. It's getting close between the top 10. As Jack now coming towards the spoon. Comes towards the final sections, and he's gone off track. Does he invalidate? Somehow does not invalidate after going
Definitely
wide.
lost time.
Yeah, you see how much time he's lost due to that. As that might be his run finish. Marius, Robin, and Glitched all couldn't set a lap. They haven't crossed the line quick enough, so they'll be finishing where they are. That is devastating news for Glitch 10. Can Jack get ahead of Glitch in his final moments of quali as he comes across the line? What would it be for Jack? And it's going to be a 37.5, only good enough for P15 right now. What about Malik in the V-carb? As there's a crash of, I think that might be Byron Brimo. No, who is the V-carb? I think it's the SKG. He's a new driver here today. 2/10 up on his time. He goes P2 for now. We have an Alpine. That might be Nick. See what he can do. He's still almost 6/10 up on his time. So definitely needs to find a bit more time in the final corner if he wants to try and take provisional pole. Or has Robin done enough to get here today? As Nick crosses the line, only good enough for P3. What about the Mercedes? Is that Boss Moss? He's a second up. Goes P5 for now. What about his teammate who's 7/10 up on his time? He's about to cross the line. Goes P7 for now. What about Ratty? Ratty's only good enough for P7. Gets back ahead of PW Jones. What about Myth? Currently P10. He gets provisional pole by 3/10. That is going to be really good from him. Bobby Lyons grabs that by even a bigger margin to get provisional pole. And I think that might be it settled. Unless Apicati can do something in these final moments. There's only 3/10 up in Sector 2. What can he do for the final runs? Can he take provisional pole away from Bobby Lyons as he crosses the line? And what was it? I didn't see it towards the end. It's good enough for P3. So Bobby Lyons takes provisional pole. Not provisional pole. He takes pole in the final runs of qualifying. And that is going to be our top three. Bobby Lyons with a 35.5 with the top spot. And then Myth, Apicati, Cooperfan, Robin for your top 5. And then for the back markers of the top 10, you got Robin, Shone, Nick, Marius, Bossmos, Ratty for your top 10. Then behind that, you have PW Jones, Brian Brimo, who had that spin in the final run, Huff and Dobak. Glitch 10, P14, which is going to be a devastating result for him when it comes to the standings compared to where his teammate is. But we've got Adam, Make, and then Jack finishing our grid for today. So what do you think is going to happen with the championship now that Glitch 10 is all the way down in P14? It's definitely going to be a lot of work for him. I think
he's going to spice things up. He's got some work to do, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think the best thing he can hope for right now is dry weather. As we saw in qualifying, he hasn't got the best of wet qualifying pace. So we'll see as we actually go towards the lobby restart. And then we should be getting the grid sorted. Also, I think Glitch 10 might need an invite back. He did leave during qualifying.
Yeah, I'll get him on the reset.
So we come towards the reset. Who's going to win for qualifying? Obviously, Glitch 10 has left the session, so it should be a pretty quick lobby reset. Oh, who was that? That might have been Marius that went flying. Oh, is he gonna push it? Oh yeah, he does. What about Cooper? Oh, they're pushing it pretty close. Cooper fan trying to be funny here. Got the whole crowd laughing. There we go. Right. But as we get the lobby reset, let's go back to the team standings. And I believe Red Bull could potentially win it all today. Not win it all today. It depends on glitched and glitch results being near the back of the grid. But they are loads of points ahead of McLaren. So I imagine they have a good chance, depending on results go their way. Driver standings, obviously with that qualifying myth, if he has a good race result, he could potentially be quite a bit ahead of Glitch 10. But it is still going to be going towards the end of the season, let's hope. It's going to come down to that final race in Abu Dhabi. And speaking of the calendar, actually, let's go to that. So next week, we've got Las Vegas. We have a double USA header. I think Ricky might be telling us something here. He might want to go on holiday to the city of Las Vegas. Who knows? Or maybe it's just one of his favorite tracks. But we got a double American header followed by Abu Dhabi, which is going to be a very interesting one. And we haven't had an Abu Dhabi finale since season 4, where Marius last won the title. And Pucci Head for Division 2 also won the title. So let's see if the drivers here today can go to the final run. Obviously, it'll be much more comfortable if they can win it before that. But 3 rounds left. This is the part of the season where the drivers want to lock in. Obviously, we're Division 1. But if you guys keep in touch with Lanky and Corey on Tuesday nights for the races, then you'll start seeing how close the championship is there as well. I'm pretty sure the gap is the same for both divisions. But speaking about Division 1, it is going to be very close between Myth and Glitched. I think potentially I think there are other chances for I think there is another chance for Bossmos to win it mathematically, but he is going to have the results to go his way as much as he can. But yeah, we should be going soon. If I'm right, we should be getting ready at 8:32, and then on the grid we should be getting ready at 8:34. If everyone readies up on time, that is. But as Lanky is doing the grid, we won't distract them just yet. But if you're in the chat, let's see your predictions for who's going to win this race. I know Ricky, I know you're hovering somewhere, but your predictions in the chat on who you think could win. Right. 17 drivers. How many of those 17 will finish the race? Got pretty close towards qualifying, as I was only 1 minute off, and it was a 1:33. We should be getting ready on the grid. But as we get going, let's see. So Lanky, who do we think is winning this race?
Well, Bobby I know is quick, and he's saying he hasn't got much faith in himself. So if I go off of that, I'll go with Myth.
I mean, you know what? And it is valid. Yesterday's race was the only time I've ever finished a Japan League race. Can you believe that? And it was in the wet.
It was not just wet, it was very wet. Very,
Yeah,
especially at the
I
start.
don't think there's words to describe how wet that was. Maybe we should come up with a word. What will this weather be in the race session? Dr. Steele, if you're in the stream, cross your fingers and start praying, because if it is pouring down, I will be laughing at Glitch 10 throughout this entire 26 laps. I think it's 26 laps.
27.
26, 7, who knows. See, I did that on purpose because I knew you would say it's 27. But I thought I'd say it now it's 26, so that way I get to say it's 26-7. But as we go towards the grid, what will it be for the weather? Predictions before we switch scene, and it's going to be dry. Boring. However, look at the clouds, Lanky. I don't know about you, but they are looking pretty.
Yeah, it's not
pretty dark.
bright, is it? Is it? Yeah. A chance. Mixed condition would be nice. Dry start, wet end. Or dry to wet, back to dry. That would be interesting.
Right. We should be getting on the grid in 1 minute time. Before we go lights out around this track, imagine the strategies will be medium hard with the one stop. We could potentially see Glitch 10 starting on the hards. We know he has the pace to fight at the front. However, starting at the back is definitely going to put a massive brick wall in his way. So I imagine he'll go for that alternative strategy. The other alternative strategy I think people could do are start on the softs. And if you're quick enough, it can definitely work. But we shall see, as we should be getting going in roughly 25 seconds time. I think that's how long to the minute ends. I could be way off, but we'll see. Right, it's now 8:33. I imagine the 30-second timer for the drivers are currently counting down.
Well, there is a beep in my ear. You'll be glad to hear.
Yeah, I don't know how you can hear the beep. I can't, which is a bit unfortunate.
I always have been. I don't think Corey can either.
Maybe it's just a console thing, and maybe I'm not sure. As we are about to go 5 lights with the Alpine on that pole position. As the 5 lights go out, who is going to get the better start? In F1, we always have that bit of a glitch start. But Bobby Lyers is currently leading a pack with a few moves being made. Baron Brimmer gets ahead of Bossmos. Huff and Doback fell back down the grid. So alongside Adam, and he's currently P16. Obviously, Robin falls back just a tiny bit as well, but it's looking like it's going to be a good start from Bobby Lyons, still in P1. No moves have been made towards the front just yet. Cooper fan behind his teammate and getting really close behind his teammate. I don't imagine any moves will be made just yet, but here is the moves so far on the opening laps. IRT Nick got up 2 positions. Robin falling back down 2 positions. Now 3 positions. There's a car off track. Who was that?
That's Bossmos.
That is Bossmos in the wall. He managed to keep on going though. So for the second week running, Bossmos not having the best of days when it comes to the race. He's currently now 7 seconds back and potentially with damage. Will he continue the race
left.
as it is only lap 1? But,
Definitely missing the left end plate, so
yeah,
I'd imagine we'll see him come in.
So we've got Bramon Brimmer going wide, losing a place to Glitch 10. Glitch 10 up 4 positions already. Into the points he goes. He needs to gain some more points to gain over his teammates. But we see the Ferrari of Adam trying to make a move around Huff and Doback, but just trying to find the door that is open to try and make that move. Going back to the front, we have a currently 3-4 Haas, who is going to be ahead coming into turn 1. Will Cooperfan be brave into turn 1 and try and make a swoop round the inside? So far, he is looking to play it safe and just go a few laps without fighting first, as Nick's getting really close to the back of him as well. We've got Robin splitting the McLarens. Marius Anderson, I don't think he had the best of starts. Now P7, might have fell back just a tiny bit. But two McLaren's drivers, second contenders for the Red Bulls, currently down there in the low end of the points. Still a decent margin between Myth and Bobby Lyons, almost 6/10. Bobby Lyons is going to be pushing as much as he can to try and break that DRS zone. Only one DRS zone around Japan, so that is really only one opportunity you have to overtake. I mean, apart from coming towards the 130R, so we've got some moves between the back. That is Malik in the V-Carb and Adam. Adam gets ahead. We have some connection issues between the drivers at back. Jack almost tried to make a move, but he's gone off track, touches the grass. I don't think the track goes that way, mate, but he sits in P16 for now. Bosmos into the pits, and he's now 35 seconds behind the rest of the field. There's already a DRS gap between Huff and Dobak and Brian Brimmer, who's currently sits behind Glitch 10. Is Glitch 10 going to try and make a move on Ratty coming to the chicane? Not yet. He's playing it safe for now. He knows he needs to try and gain as many positions as he can. He has started on the medium tyres, so we won't be seeing any alternative strategies for him, but he seems to be close enough to try and make a move coming into turn 1 on Ratty. Less than a tenth now. Looks for the opportunity, doesn't go for it, and is now going to have to go another lap sitting behind Ratty as Huff and Dobak's made a move back around Adam to claim that P13 spot. Go back towards the front. IRT Nick has got past Cooperfan, sits now P14 splitting the Haas. And so far it's looking like a pretty good first few laps. Obviously, apart from a few drivers, Bosmos going off, coming towards that last Denger, I believe it's called. I think that's what the name of the turn is. Denger 2. Degner. There you go. Denger. Where am I getting that from? But yeah, IRT Nick is flying. He's got a bit of a gap to Cooperfan already and is staying real close to Applicati, who goes a bit wide coming out of Spoon. It's Bobby Lyons has been overtaken now. Yeah. Did he have a screen freeze or something? He did lose quite a bit of time.
Something happened there.
I think it might have been because he lost quite a bit of time in a matter of like a split second.
Either that or he's made a mistake.
Maybe so. So going to try and reclaim that P1 spot coming into the chicane. No, it's not. Can Applicati use this to his advantage? Myth is going to be without the DRS, so we could see potentially just a switcheroo coming up here now. 3 attempts is the gap. Is he going to try and make a move? We've got on board with Robbie Lyon. Tries to make a move around the outside. Can he get that move to stick? The outside turns towards the inside, goes a bit wide. I think Myth might just about have this. Still wheel to wheel coming through the S's. It's really hard racing as Bobby Lyons makes the move around the outside, and that is an amazing overtake to reclaim that P1 position.
Yeah, he had the traction there. We got the power down a lot earlier than Myth.
So that is really good from here, and he's already sort of started to gain some time as IRT Nick now gets behind Applicati. And let's see if he can make a move. We've seen Applicati in the past few races. He's been really consistent as Bosmos retires after that lap 1 damage. And there's been a collision between Cooperfan and Nick. I think Nick just had a bit of a hard braking, locked up, and that caused Cooperfan to go into the back of him. And now he's going to lose some more positions. Goes down to P6. Might have picked up some wing damage. We'll see. Don't think he has, but that has allowed SKG Shown to get up to P5 and potentially Marius also to overtake Cooperfan.
Applicati is right on Myth. He is looking like he's not. No, he's going for it.
He's going for a move coming into the chicane. Hopefully they can keep this clean. Leave each other just enough racing room. Falls behind for now, waiting for that DRS straight. And is he about to make a move as Robin falls back? Was Robin going to the pits? Or maybe just made a mistake? Or Ratty, he's fallen back quite a bit now, P11. I think he might have made a mistake. As Myth and Applicati are fighting for the head of it. Applicati still P3 for now, struggling to get past Myth. Coming up to Robin and Glitch. Glitch 10 is struggling to get past, and Robin sends Glitch heading to get sent off the track into the wall. Is he going to be out of this race? Let's go on board with him. No, he keeps on going, but that is going to be a massive sledgehammer to the face. But when it comes to the standings, his teammate is now potentially could be on for a really good shot of winning the championship here. And could this be the race that cost Glitch 10 what he needed to win? So obviously we have quite a few laps to go. that is not going to be good for him. That is definitely the chance of a top 5 out of the race as Malik retires on pit on the track, and that causes the virtual safety car. So I imagine the stewards will be looking at that afterwards.
Looks like he's lost it coming up the hill out of the sector 1, and there's the full safety.
So that is not a good thing we want to see. Tying on track, causing a safety car. That does help a few drivers, such as Glitch 10, but it is it's definitely going to turn around on some strategies. So everyone comes into the pits, and imagine they're going to be moving on to the two-stop.
Yeah.
What about the drivers? Did any of the drivers start on the hards? Yes,
That's
Robin started on the hards, and so did Ratty. So
yeah, Ratty as well. He's come in.
He's coming to the pit. So Robin, the only problem is that if everyone's pitted, I mean, I guess Robin could still be on for that one stop if everyone does convert over, but it's going to be close, especially if there is another safety car. Because after all of that, Ratty has actually came out dead last. So did the two McLarens double stack? I think they might have. There is a pretty good chance that they did.
Yeah. They might, for him to lose time. Unless he had damage that we didn't see, but that's the only other thing it could have been, change of a wing.
Right. I think Glitch 10's had some pretty unfortunate past 2 races with all the safety cars that have happened, but this might just allow him to bounce back into the race. Started P14, has now fall back to P14 coming out of the pits. Imagine he had to change his front wing.
He didn't look like he had damage.
Did he not?
No, I was quite surprised actually when there was nothing on the front wing. But I mean, he still had both end plates anyway. It didn't look like maybe he's hit the wall with the side of the car, or.
As you know what, the pack has caught up pretty quickly. I don't imagine it will end this lap, but next lap will definitely be the lap it will coming in. That'll be the shortest safety car of the century here. But the only disadvantage Robin has right now is that he is on a 5-lap older tyres than everyone else around him. All 14 drivers that are currently behind him are on fresh tyres compared to his 5-lap tyres. I think it was, well, 7 now. Or, no, 6. Crap, no, never mind. Let's be quiet. But as we move on to see who has gained the most positions, and so far the driver who's gained the most positions at this current time is Jack, gaining 5. I think the only thing you can do from starting P17 is gain from there. Robin up 4 positions as well. That is good for him. He obviously stayed out during the pit stop, so he would definitely be looking for the one stop compared to the drivers around him. And one thing I've also noticed about this track, it is pretty difficult to warm up your tires in the opening stages. So I imagine he might just about get the edge when the safety car does come in at the end of this lap.
I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit harder as well with it being cloudy. The track temperature is probably lower than what most of them are used to with clear conditions.
But going on board, although it's cloudy, I don't think we'll see any rain unless there's another safety car and it prolongs the race. You could potentially see it towards the end. But has Division 1 had a wet race yet? I know they definitely had wet qualifying since we just had one, and we also had one in Monza. I don't know if Netherlands was wet. I think it actually was. Have we had 3 wet race qualifying sessions in a row?
Yeah.
I think we might have to go back and check that actually, because If that is, that's going to be a very interesting stat.
I want to say yeah, because it's definitely this week, obviously.
Yeah, then,
definitely last week.
and then I think Monza was wet. But as the safety car comes in now, it is going to be Robin that leads the pack. When will he go? I imagine halfway through this corner here, as he puts his foot to the floor and he is gone. Go, go, go for the Williams driver. 4 attempts already ahead of Bobby Lyons. DRS for they don't have DRS for this first lap, but so far Robbins seemed to get a good start. Cooper Fan gets ahead of Byman Brimmer. Doesn't seem to put up much of a fight. He drops down to P9 for now. What about Apicati? Can he finally get ahead of Miss? Those two drivers have been fighting this entire time, still right beside each other, coming towards the S's. He's definitely going to be looking to get ahead of Miss. If he does, that would help out Miff's teammate, Glitch 10. Although he's out of the points, that is a less point gap towards the driver ahead. But so far, Robin seems to have an amazing start. 8 attempts ahead. Apicati goes a bit wide. The V-car wasn't able to utilize that. Stays P5 for now. What about PW Jones? Currently sat right behind Byman Brimo. Can he try and get ahead? We know that PW Jones has that race pace to get podiums. It's just a matter of how long it would take him. He currently sat behind the Ferrari driver. DRS, it won't be active this lap, so there won't be that many opportunities unless he burns his battery coming up towards this mini straight towards 130R. But so far, no moves made during the safety car restart, which is something we don't really see. What about Nick? Nick's going to go for a dive bomb on Marius Anderson. Can he get the move to Swick? Still wheel to wheel, coming through the chicane. Has a bit of contact, but Nick gets ahead with DRS enabled. Would this be the wrong timing for him? Is Marius got his DRS open? As I don't think it will count for this straight.
No,
but
the end of this lap, but they get it. Because the start line is after the detection point, isn't it?
Oh yeah, true that. As Cooper Fan is making some moves around the inside of Marius Anderson, but it's just unable to get it to stick. Ratty gets ahead of Jack coming into the S's. So the place you won't really expect to see overtakes is where we mainly see overtakes into this race. As I also think the fight for the win could potentially be on between Bobby and Robin, as Myth is almost out of DRS. He's definitely going to have to do some catching up if he wants to try and... Oh, as Bobby goes off track, he touches the grass. Apicati again isn't able to get through and stays P4 for now. I think he just needs to pick his chances and go for it. Because I don't know about you, but I still have a yellow sector 1.
Yeah, it's just a visual bug after the safety car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yet another one of the game's lovely bugs.
Yeah, that is Codemasters for you. How many laps do we think Robin can go for on these hard tyres? He's already out of the DRS, so all he really needs to do is push. And imagine Bobby would trying to get ahead of Myth to try and claim back what was his from that. I think he locked up coming into the hairpin and just went a bit wide. But is he going to try and make a dive? Myth goes to defend, and he defends well. Bobby is unable to get ahead. And I think Apicati, I think he's one of those drivers that isn't really aggressive. He likes to take his time and stuff and just choose the right moment. He had a moment
bit
before.
like PW.
Yeah. I think those two drivers,
he's happy to sit and let everyone else battle it out while he tries to keep his nose out of it until the moment's right.
And I think with the history of the last few laps we've seen in races, I think that might be probably the good strategy to do. As you know, last time out we had a few collisions on the final lap. I know last season or the season before that we had a moment between Marius and the Wrens on the final few laps where I think one of them DNFs. But yeah, he's being able to keep up there with them. Obviously, he is a provisional P3 right now for when Robin does finally pit. But PW Jones currently in P10, and he seems to be stuck behind Brian Bremo, who is falling out with the DRS of Cooper Fan. So imagine PW will be able to make a move coming into that first corner. He's definitely going to have to get a move on since he's the only remaining Mercedes, and I think after this race. I think Mercedes, when it comes to the championship, could potentially be out of the race. Obviously, we always do the math afterwards, but we'll see. Had a massive snap coming out of the corner there. I don't think it's going to be able to make any moves. Cooperfan finally gets back ahead of Mario. Sorry, we just overshot that just a bit. PW finally also gets ahead of Brian Brimo. Claims P9 for now. Can Brian stay ahead or stay within that DRS of PW? As he's got his teammate right behind him. Will they work as a team, or is it going to be fighting for that final points position? We'll see. It is racing after all, as we have another Alpine of Nick go off track as well, and that's going to be another position gained for Cooperfan, as Nick has just about got that back, and can Marius get that? As I think that caught Cooperfan off guard just a tiny bit, as Myth is now back within the DRS of Robin. As Adam and yeah, that is Brian Brummer goes off track after a collision with his teammates. Two Scuderias fighting for that final points position. I think that contact just pushed Brian back just a amount, and now out of DRS of PW. PW is already caught up to the back of Marius. So far, it's been a really close 11 laps. I haven't really seen that much of a gap between the drivers. Obviously, there were a safety car, but even before the safety car, I think the entire field was still pretty close.
Yeah, Myth just had to go really defensive in the chicane there from Bobby. Bobby's lining up an attack again now with the DRS, but Myth has also got it, which isn't going to help Bobby on this occasion. But he definitely got up for a move into the chicane, so Bobby's looking to try and get past Myth at this point in the race.
Bobby isn't afraid to attack. We saw that last time out over in Netherlands. Obviously, it didn't go the way he wanted, but hopefully it can today. We've seen him make some great moves coming to the chicane, and obviously turn one. He seems to be a bit of a dive from it. There he goes. And
he's definitely got it in him. He knows I think he can see he's got the pace on Myth at the minute. It's just Myth's defending really well.
As Myth actually has a bit of a frustration wiggle, as you saw coming out of the Degner, a bit of contact between him and the Haas. But the fact these two are fighting, and Robin is still within those DRS. I think Robin's now on the stage where his tyres are starting to degrade. I imagine he'll be pitting in the next 2 laps. What about SKG in the V-car? Can he try and get ahead of the Haas driver? 5/10 of split. The top 10 all within DRS of each other. Obviously, we've got Adam just 1.2 behind. Brian Brower has actually lost a bit of time. It was P10, but now fall back to P13. So might have picked up some damage after the contact with his teammates. Robin doing well.
Ooh, I don't know if Myth got DRS. Is it open?
Yeah, it is. He might be lucky this time round.
Myth's been really strong all season. I think he's still up there in P2, but I think this is the most I've seen him be attacked this season. Obviously, by someone that's not his teammate.
Yeah.
Like, him and Glitch have been quite consistently together, but...
Oh, as Bobby goes on track.
Yeah.
That was a close one for him. He's still going to lose some time.
Just going to allow Apicati to move.
Yeah. Finally, that's what we're talking about just being patient and allowing for the right moments. And that time round, he did so, but he has fallen out of DRS from Myth, so hopefully he can catch back up. I think Bobby might be pushing a bit too much. We see him have a few snaps, so I think he might just be pushing a bit too much. Obviously, he's still got quite a distance to go. With one more stop, I imagine that is why he will be pushing.
Yeah, the guys that are all committing to the 2-stop, and that from this point, they can be aggressive, especially if they've chosen the harder allocation, because they're able to go 2 stints of hards now, as I just saw a Red Bull cut in the chicane. I think that was Myth. Yeah. I think he made a mistake and it's cut across the chicane there.
Well, I think he might just do a switcheroo. Has the DRS, doesn't go for it. Apicati still P2. And Robin, yet again, without the DRS attack from behind. As Nick gets ahead of the V-carb coming into the yeses. What about Cooper Fan? Cooper Fan getting really close to the back of the V-carb. Can he try and make a move coming into the two Degners? The gap now to Robin is climbing 1.6 seconds. Has Robin made the right call to start on the hards and stay out during the safety car? When do we think...
I think so, because he's got the track position, and obviously if everybody else is stopping, he's going to be stopping, so he's not set to lose anything really by...
In fact, I think he might actually go... I think the undercut's going to be pretty big if he does hit maybe this lap or next lap. The hards will definitely... Actually, maybe not. He's going to go on mediums, isn't he? So he might extend it just a bit.
If he longs it, yeah, he might extend it maybe more to lap 18, 17, 18, do 10 on the medium.
As actually, who is that? Apicati comes into the pits to start his second stop of the day. He is potentially going on a fresh set of hards. So he's looking to get the undercut on Robin as well.
I just saw that, yeah. I thought he had it done, but he hasn't shown defended it and shut that door, so Cooper's had to settle back behind him.
Brian gets ahead of Jack. The fight for the back is on. Robin still with a comfortable margin as well, 1.5 seconds. Even though he's on 15 lap or tyres, he seems to be keeping that comfortable margin.
Managing really well, yeah.
Obviously, we got these.
I mean, he's got to be at that stage now, surely, where they're not feeling the nicest, but he's managing it well. 14
laps on those medium tyres. Ratty on the medium tyres for 9 laps. I imagine he'll be coming into the pits pretty soon.
Yeah, there's going to be a mix-up of tyres for the end of this race. A couple of people mediums, a couple of people hards. It's going to be interesting.
No, and just to speak of how close this race has been, obviously apart from Apicati, who's just pitted, but all the drivers within 10 seconds of each other. So a 10-second penalty for Robin could potentially mean going to the back. Say Brian and Jack were to catch up as Bobby comes into the pits. We got on board with Apicati to see if he can get that undercut on Bobby, as we got a few more drivers coming to the pits. We got the Alpine. Was the Alpines just double stacked? Oh, they did. That is going to cost Nick a bunch of time. Ray also comes into the pit. So how is this going to be for Robin then?
Go now.
Yeah,
he's got to go now. Myth starting to close.
He's yet to pit, and the other drivers have have already done the second one. As the undercut for Apicati didn't work as well as he planned. Still within the DRS is Bobby Lyons compared to Apicati. So imagine both of those drivers will be able to get ahead of Myth when he does finally pit.
Glitch, currently P6 as well. You know, he's managed to work himself back up there. He's got to stop yet, but I think he's still on for points. But it's just how many.
Why does it keep doing that? There we go. As Bobby Lyons is already out of the DRS of Apicati, so Apicati seems to just start to push a bit more as Bobby Lyons and a massive snap coming out of the spoon. It doesn't seem to be losing that much time, but that was a close one for him. He seemed to be struggling just a bit around this track with some of those difficult turns, such as the hairpin and the spoon. But Myth now within 3 tenths of SFT Robin. Robin still on those hard compound tyres. Imagine surely he would pit as Jack gets a 10-second penalty to come into the pits to retire by the looks of things.
Robin's doing really well on these tyres, I must admit. He's definitely longing them out.
As Bobby
Lyons going to have nice mediums
as well. Yeah, he's definitely going to be flying ahead.
Yeah,
of
his last stint's going to be flying.
Do we think Myth is going to come in the same time as Robin? Do you think it's going to be like a...
I think he has to. Because of the undercut, Robin's going to be on mediums. They're going to be so much quicker to fire up if Myth doesn't have another set of mediums, because he started on the mediums, I believe. So if he's gone on the harder allocation, he's going to have another set of hards waiting for him, or potentially softs. We may even see him go to softs yet.
I don't know what
Depending
the pit
on when.
window is, but I think Apicati is potentially on for a net P1. 10 laps left to go. Obviously, anything can happen.
If they can go to lap 20, we'll definitely see soft. And as we say
he's
that,
in
there
the
goes
pit,
Robin.
So Myth could be at a disadvantage here, considering he's continuing on, and Apicati and Bobby Lyons have already pitted.
Yeah, the second one's going to fire these mediums up quickly.
Can Apicati get ahead of FST Robin? If he does, that'll be beneficial to him. Imagine he will fall nicely into possibly P12 behind PW Jones. We'll go on board with PW Jones to see if he gets ahead, and he does not. So that's P11, but he is 1.8 seconds back. But being on those fresh medium tyres, I imagine he'll catch up pretty nicely. There's a yellow flag for PW Jones, who is in the wall with major front wing damage, so not a good day for Mercedes. He's definitely going to have to come into the pits.
Lost it.
To fix that, yeah.
Wonder if he's lost it coming out off the curb of turn 2. Is it turn 2?
I think so. Oh, just...
Well, 1 and 2 sort of blend into each other, don't they?
Yeah.
I hate it when they do that. It's like, it's technically still like 1 corner, but because it gets that little bit sharper, it's 2.
Bobby Lyons caught right up to the back of Apicati again. Maybe just... So I don't know if something's happened to the Haas, or Bobby's just...
But look at Apicati
really
to
quickly.
Robin. Like, he's got... It was nearly 2 seconds, I think, when Robin come out. So he got some sort of undercut, because the time that he was already behind Robin to then get ahead. So the undercut has worked to some degree up to now.
And the question is going to be is how much is Bobby going to fight Robin? Obviously, Robin on those much faster tyres. Is he going to put up much of a fight? Is Bobby is going to go for one of his dive bombs coming into turn 1? Apicati doesn't seem to fight it as much. Falls in behind for now and stays P10. Eight laps remaining. It's going to be a pretty close fight coming towards the end. It's just about who's going to get on top as FST Robin also gets ahead, or looks to get ahead,
I think
but
Myth's
doesn't
going
just
for
then.
soft.
Maybe 7 laps on the softs. I think it is possible. But it definitely is possible. But the only question
Or
is
he able to whisper these to the end?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I think it's a stretch if he can.
Just looking at his tyres now, it already
it'd be
seems
good
to be a
if he
bit
did.
dead.
Be a hell of a drive if he did.
If he does, I'll give him props to him, but it's going to cost him if he does. But that does mean if he does pit, that is Bobby Lyons in a net P1. Nick gets a 3-second penalty. Go back off the double second of his teammate.
Oh, that was a moment for Robin there.
That is Nick coming into the pits. 7 laps remaining. I think it's too late. I think you're right. I think Myth is going to nurse this home.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much can these guys catch up towards the end.
Come on, game. Give me that tyre graphic. Let us see his tyre wear. As
Bobby is still only 17 seconds behind Oh no, I think Myth might have this.
I
17
think if Myth
seconds.
is holding shown at 2.5, he's going to stay out. He's not going to come in now.
And
He's
considering that
holding
Myth,
2.5 to him.
he's got a 17-second gap between him and Bobby Leon. So I think he could. Yeah, I think you're right about him nursing this home.
I think it's definitely looking what's on the cards now. Is if he stops now, he's going to have to be putting in qualifying laps for the last few laps, like hot laps every lap.
And if that is the case, I also think the V-Carb and the likes of Cooper Fan can also go to the end on those tyres. So could we see a Cooper Fan podium?
It's not a strategy I was expecting, to be fair, but it seems like it's definitely the one that's come into play.
I mean, I guess they did have those few laps under the safety car, so it didn't kill their tyres as much, but to go to the end, I might have to ask some of the drivers what their tyre was, tyre wear was towards the
I'd
end.
like to know what it was. But I keep watching that pace to Myth to SKG shown, and it's just staying at that 2.7, 2.8 mark. So he's not losing any time to the car behind yet. So, and while he's got those cars in between him and Bobby, he's not got to worry.
The top 8 are yet to pit, so let's see. Can also
Glitch
Brian
P5
also
as well. If he stays, that would be a result for him this race, considering it's not been the greatest of days for him.
Does have Adam with DRS behind, so it's going to be pretty tough, but I think Glitch might just have that pace advantage. Actually going behind. Is Cooper Fan about to make a move on SKG show? And yes, he is. Climbs all the way up to P2. Let's see how long he keep that for. Although they are on the same amount of lap times, it was all about who can save a bit more. As you saw, Marius right there had him as a snap.
Yeah, but he's now in play with that battle ahead of him.
It's going to be a fight for that final podium spot between the McLaren and either Cooper or SKG shown. Or can it go Marius' way, and can he claim that P2? His teammate down in P13, not the result that he wanted. As PW Jones also pitted, he's still in the race, 45 seconds behind. This many laps remaining, I think the best thing he can do is just take that quickest lap off Myth. Obviously you don't get a point for it, but still good to have it towards the end. Yeah, I think SKG is starting to I think the V-Carb is starting to struggle, as you see he's sort of having some snaps coming out of the corners, starting to wiggle a bit. Going on board, the tyres towards the front
is helping Myth. He's now gaining a little bit.
FST Robin finally caught up towards the back of Bramman Bremo. I forgot to call him that. He needs to change his name back to Dynamic Duo. So he gets ahead.
Free Ball 3 wide.
Going 3 wide and coming into the corner. Oh! He sends Bobby, goes flying. Actually, gave him a bit of a pace advantage. Can he defend coming into the chicane? No, he can't.
That was sketchy to watch. One. Never mind be part of.
But Brian Bremo seems to be struggling up against the drivers that were in the top 3 and now falls back outside of the points. FST Robin looking to get ahead of Bobby Lyons. Don't go for the move into sector 1. Less than 2 attempts to split between them. Maybe he might go for a crazy dive coming into the Degners, but not that many laps remaining, and a 15-second gap to the leader. Myth is looking pretty comfortable for the win here today. I think if Bobby wants to finish better than Robin, he's going to have to defend for his life. Because just based on raw pace, with the tyres that Robin's got on, I think he's definitely going to have the advantage.
Yeah. I think Adam's going to be losing one to Huff in a minute. Huff looks to have more pace behind him through sector 2. He's going to lose a position on the penalty anyway, but on track, Huff looks like he's going to be getting that done at any moment.
to go for a dive coming towards the chicane. No, we've already seen a handful of drivers actually attempt that today. I imagine he will be making a move as Adam does have
just
DRS.
did it to Bobby in the chicane. Robin's ahead of Bobby.
With those fresher, well, with those faster compound tires,
I saw them side by side anyway.
Imagine he'll be able to steam ahead now.
Quite excited for these next couple of laps because it's all starting to like kick off, isn't it? Everybody's seeing them the lap count and like, right, I've got to start making my moves now or never.
As Marius is definitely be fighting for that podium position. He's going to be like me yesterday. He had a chance for a P2, but, you know, what, P4 in the end. As Robin gets ahead of Huff and Doback. So already one car split between Bobby and Robin. How many positions can Robin gain in these final few laps? Makes a great move around the inside of Adam, coming into the hairpin and gets up to P6. So now another car split between Bobby and Robin. How much will Adam defend?
Starting to see that tyre advantage really play there on these guys now.
Definitely going to have to get ahead of Glitched. Other than that, I think P5 could potentially be the best result Robin can get here as the unexpected strategy from those
Marius is a bit of a stretch, isn't he? 9 seconds in 3 laps. That's. Can you catch him 3 seconds a lap, sir?
Maybe. As Bobby goes for another dive and he spins. One dive too many and he goes round, drops down to P10, and that is going to cost him some valuable points, obviously during late in the season. So when it comes to the championship, it won't matter, but he is not going to be happy with that as Apicati is going to get ahead of Huff and Doback. Goes around the outside, goes wide and gets a 3-second penalty, which is going to be devastating for him as well. Was on a really good run, but has just ruined it towards the end of this race. 2 laps remaining with a 3-second penalty. He would still get points, but it will only be 1. As all this fighting, the dynamic duo, I'm just going to call
Robin
them
and
really
Glitch
needs to catch up.
at it. If you, I don't know who you're on board with, they were at it through sector 1 then. Robin's starting to, I think he's starting to get to that, I don't know if impatience is the right word, but you sort of get what I mean. And like, he's getting to that stage now where
I think maybe he just didn't get the right call. I think the strategies he thought other people was going to do didn't go the way he wanted. Yeah. To be honest, I thought the same, to be honest. I thought this was going to be a clear win, or at least a podium.
I never expected the hards to be last
this long
with the amount of pace that they still have. Because Myth is still 4 seconds up. Like, I didn't expect them to hold this amount of pace, that's for sure.
Robin is going to look for one more charge past Glitch 10. Had that spin before between the Drew drivers, and I think last time out had a bit of a moment, but does he have the pace to try and make a move? That said he does on those medium tires, or has he pushed a bit too much? Doesn't seem to be making a move coming into turn 1. But Adam is also defending off the drivers behind pretty well. Brian Brimo falls back even more, falls back to P12 now. Rai is going to have to try and feign some pace if he wants to pick up a point, at least 1 point for McLaren. Bobby Lyons seems to be struggling on those hard compound tires now. After that spin, I imagine his tire wear has shot up quite a bit. Cubifan also defending his position quite well without DRS and is still managing to stay P2 for now. However, with him being there is costing Marius as he is struggling to get past SKG Show. PW comes into the pits. Bobby Lyons about to make a move on Huff and Doback. We shall see. Imagine he will coming towards the chicane at least. Seems to have that wing advantage. Huff and Doback defending really well, actually. Beautiful defense from him. But will Bobby Lyons try and make a move? Has a Ferrari ahead of him that's going to stop him in the way, but manages to get ahead. I think the Ferrari of Adam might have just helped him here, but they're still side by side. And he gets through. That was a really close call for Bobby there, actually.
Yeah. Lovely battles.
So Robin
It's been a
and
good race.
Glitch are side by side coming into the S section. Still wheel to wheel. Will we see a good overtake from Robin here? Yep, he gets ahead. Glitch then looks for the switchback, but just doesn't have the grip advantage compared to Robin, and now falls back to P6.
Yeah, he held on as long as he could. I think P6 is still a good result. It wasn't looking like that for him after his moment, was it? So,
and I think with how much Adam's defending Bobby, I think he's helping Glitch there even more here. With
yeah, Glitch should be fairly happy. He's not going to be over the moon, but he should be happy with where he got back to.
That should be going board with Myth coming towards the final few turns of this race. He has been really strong all throughout. With that one stop, the surprising one stop, as Robin gets a 3-second penalty. So that is going to be Glitch for P5. As Myth is about to cross the line, he's going to win this round in Japan for round 10, I believe. He takes the lead on 9. Cooper Fan gets P2. SKG Shown P3. Marius missing out. FST Robin P5. But he is going to drop back all the way down to P6 unless something happens to Glitch in the final few corners. But I don't imagine so. No. It's going to be P6
P7,
for him.
Isn't it? Or just miss it. Or just.
Yeah. So Bobby Lyons P7. Huff and Dovak P8. Ratty P9. Adam at P10. And Apukati outside of the points, which was probably the most unexpected thing we could have seen, as he was on for a potential podium, even a potential win. However, the strategies of those front 5 or front 8 even was a bit unexpected too. But that is a close fight from start to finish. And what are your thoughts on that race?
I thought it was really good for Japan. It was action all the way through, wasn't it? The trains stayed pretty close. And then when they did start to split up a little bit towards the end, there was multiple battles going on. So I thought it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, that is. It was pretty close all race long as well. It's the strategy call from lap 5 to the end. I'm still speechless about that. How they managed to pull that off.
Yeah.
But yes, that's our top 3. We've got Myth, Cooper Fan, who takes his first podium of the season, and SKG Shown his first race. He manages to get a podium and fends off Marius Anderson, who is also on a good run. Glitch 10 gets P5 after losing P5 to Robin due to his 3-second penalty. Robin obviously P6 after the safety car didn't go the way he's won. Bobby Lyons P7, he would have been ones at the top as well. Then Huff and Dobak, Ratty, and Adam for your top 10, followed by Apicati, Brian, PW Jones, and then the rest all retiring in the pit lane apart from one. But yeah, that is a pretty good race. I've got work early in the morning, so maybe I do interviews.
Yeah, it takes 5 minutes. If they join.
Right. Let's go back to the Greg's man and Lanky and his little Will. See if the drivers want to do any interviews. Right. Let's get these drivers in. Bosh. Oh. Alright then. Don't know if the other guy is joining. He's kind of new to the league, but here we are. We'll start with our race winner. You got Myth, who is ahead of his teammates in the championship, and also got ahead of his teammate by quite a lot of points. Myth, how'd you find that race? Obviously, the safety car at the start. Me and Lanky thought you was definitely going for the 2-stop, but you managed to make that 1-stop work to perfection and to take that lead. How'd you find that race?
Yeah, it was quite funny at the start. I would say, quite enjoyable. The few people behind me were quite aggressive. They wanted to overtake like quite aggressively, so I had to manage a little bit the battery, and I did a few mistakes as well in the first stint. So it wasn't like going very smooth at the start, but it made it a little bit more exciting as well. So I'm not complaining. Then the second stint was just managing, and yeah, I basically managed the whole race, and I was not like in any trouble with Tyler. So I could just manage the gap. When I got out of the DRS, then I knew I just had to do a massive mistake to lose it.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Although you was managing that entire time, you were gaining quite a bit of time on the cars behind. Was that always the strategy when you saw the safety car came out? Was you always planning to go to the end, or was it just a bit of in the moment type of thing?
I usually know like the strategies. On this track, I really didn't. So I started doing my math at the start of like in the first lap of the arts. I saw the tire and I was sure like if I kept it below 4% per lap, I would make it. And yeah, I kept it below 3. So yeah, it was quite easier than I thought. So from lap 1, I just knew like the pit lane is too long. You cannot go for a showstopper like last week in Janvort. You can actually do a showstopper because tower is very high and the pit lane is short. So it worked for Ratti. This time like no chance. Like I got the fastest lap on 12 laps all darts. So yeah, hards are quite long lasting here. So the strategy was easily going to the end after the safety car.
Yeah, that is a good race from you. That was Myth who got P1 and is now a comfortable margin ahead of his teammate in the driver standings. Obviously, Glitched was leading it for quite a while, but then comes Monza. That safety car happens, and then from there, you seem to be storming ahead of your teammate. Hopefully, you can stay ahead all the way till the end of the season for that last race battle. But I wish you luck. And then we move on to Cooper Fan, who I think for the
Hello.
first time this season has finally got a podium. Cooper Fan, how was
Yes,
your
that's
race?
correct. I'm quite happy. P2, great result. I mean, after the safety car, I thought I was in a bit of trouble, but overtook Bumo and then other people I can't remember. But it was a good race. Tire saving was crucial. I mean, my tires were 80% at the end, I think, so not ideal. But I saved as much as I could. I think I had a good setup compared to the guys behind me at the end, so I could overtake them on the straights. Yeah, good. Quality was good. But I didn't fully push on the final one, but could probably got like P2, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we got the job done in the race.
Yeah, I mean, did you also have the same sort of mindset as Myth when that safety car came out? Did you know you can take those hards to the end, or was it something that you sort of thought of as the race was progressing?
As I'm on controller, I knew it was going to be difficult, but my original pit stop was going to be like lap 8 or 9 to get the undercut. So I was like, okay, I need to save a bit more free for S's, but if I can do that, I can make it last. That's when I got a bit surprised when like everyone in front of me pit and like with 10 laps to go, because I knew for two stop was just not going to work in terms of time. And to overtake around here is quite difficult. So I knew for one stop had to be the only option for me. It was just a bit difficult to save tires, but we got it done, so I'm happy.
Yeah. And then obviously, speaking of qualifying, I think someone needs to fact check this. I know this week and last week it was definitely wet, but I think this is the third week in a row where we've had a wet qualifying. Do you think
Yeah,
we
it is.
can?
Yeah.
Do you think we can keep up the streak? Dr. Steele goes down to Division 2, and ever since then, it's been a wet qualifying, one after another.
I think a wet quali in Las Vegas will be quite difficult, but we'll see. I mean, so far my form in the wet isn't that great. I mean, P4 today, but in Sandfork, P14 or something. So I'm hoping for a dry quali next time.
And actually, speaking about Las Vegas next week, how do you two feel about that upcoming race? Do you feel comfortable, or do you think it's a track that both of you haven't really done that much?
For me, it's one of my best tracks. I mean, on control, I'm pretty good around there. I've always done well, no line as well. I've done some laps there, no line. So I'm quite confident that I can also get a podium there, in my opinion, because it's definitely like top 2 of my tracks. So I'm looking forward to getting, hopefully try to maybe go for a win next week. Who knows?
Yeah. And what about you, Myth? How do you feel about Las Vegas? Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, it's one of those races where you need to get points. I would say just try to get points because it's quite a messy track. So it gets like one wrong move and you scored 0 points. So yeah, especially if you are P1, if you're leading the championship, you should be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
I would say.
And that will be it for the interviews. These are our P1 and P2 drivers. The person in P3 didn't attend the interviews, but that is going to be it. We'll be joined next week for Division 2 with Corey and Lanky for Las Vegas, where Ashton and Britt will take the pole and also win the race. There's no comment there. But we'll see you guys then. And congrats on the win and also that first podium of the season.